Hello YouTube. This is a video on how to do the best job on the thermostat housing on a 1999 Ford Explorer that has a single overhead cam V6. Because this is for the single overhead cam because the overhead valve version is different. So again, let me show you. So if you have this engine, SOHC, then this video will apply to you. I'm here making this video because there's not a lot of documentation on this topic. So, things that you need to know about this job. 1, just take off the intake manifold. You'll save yourself probably a lot more time. I've never taken off the intake manifold before, but what I had to do to get access to this thermostat housing here was just a ridiculous amount of work to get here. And this is the thermostat housing is all this stuff here with this part and this metal part here. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of things missing from the front here. What I had to do was remove many parts that I did not expect to, including the alternator and the tensioner and alternator bracket, which is this right here. Okay, you can do this, you can remove this, and there's 3 bolts here, here, and here, and that's where the tensioner goes. That goes here, somewhere like this, and it holds the belt. You can remove this, you can take all this off to get access to all this business back here, but really, you're probably better off just taking off this whole top intake manifold and putting in new gaskets. If you do that, get new gaskets, because they're probably old anyway. Anyways, I really... you basically have 2 ways. You can take off the intake manifold, which will get this throttle part where the throttle goes right here out of the way, or you're going to end up taking off the tensioner and mounting bracket that I showed you for the alternator, and you're going to go ahead and also want to unclip various wires. So you're going to want to take off this PCV hose if you go the route that I did, which just it clips underneath there, and basically this end goes under there to that nozzle right there, and then there's also this side here right there, similar deal, with this end right here. So I didn't remove it all the way, but I did pull it forward enough to give me the clearance to unclip the sensors right there. There's actually 2. There's that orangish brownish one and the grayish one next to that halfway threaded in bolt. So those are kind of a pain to get to with this intake manifold in the way. And again, I'm sorry for the very rushed video, but it's 10 p.m. at night, and I have been wanting to be done with this for days. But in order to get to the 8mm mounting bolts for the thermostat housing, again, really just take the intake manifold off, because you're going to have to do some crazy things to get, even with the swivel socket, you're going to have to get through all this mess of wires in here. Speaking of wires, this guy right here, I hope whatever Ford engineer designed this wire to go over the intake manifold, I do not wish them kind thoughts. And I'm usually a very nice person, but I think they Okay, enough on that. Anyway, this wire, you need to remove the little Christmas tree clips from the holders in order to get enough slack in order to loosen it. So there's one here. Okay, you'll notice its location next to this hose that goes from the thermostat housing to the water pump. Okay, so this is to locate you. There's that coolant hose. There's one Christmas tree fastener right there, and then the other one is down here, farther along the this bracket right here. This one with the other bracket on, with that big thing on there, you can feel this. You can feel this connector, and you can pull it off, but it might be hard to put it back in once you. It'll be probably a little tricky to put back in, and that's because that big ol' honker over there kind of blocks your view. But you must remove these two Christmas tree fasteners in order to get enough slack to get this around the sensors. Those two sensors, you see the brown sensor right there. You see how it goes between the sensors, which again, I really do not have anything kind to say to the person that designed that. Last piece of advice about installing the housing is, at least this model, this cheap thing that I got off eBay for like $30, $40. The last things I'll say is, one, it does come apart in 3 pieces, as you can see from the different layers here. This is the very bottom one. This middle one is the one that has the sensors attached to it, and then this top one is where the thermostat goes. So if you lift this up, you can, well, the thermostat's in there, and it does come with a thermostat, a very cheap one, so I wouldn't necessarily trust the one that comes with this housing, just because, I don't know, doesn't have a brand name. Anyhow, what I was going to say was that you can take this apart in order to get it in there a little more efficiently, but you may not need to do that. You may not need to take this apart at all if you take off the intake manifold, and there are other videos on how to do that, so you just have to look that up. Again, this is for the 4.0 single overhead cam V6. But overall, this job has been a real pain in the butt, and honestly, props to Ford for making such a shitty design for a thermostat housing. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to make a thermostat housing out of plastic, but I hope they have permanently untied shoes, and that they trip every time they try to walk somewhere. Okay, now let me show you what the old thermostat housing looks like. Okay, so here we are with the old thermostat housing. As you can see, sorry, workbench. It's a mess. Okay, so as you can see, this comes apart, be gone. So I'm not sure if this thermostat housing is already aftermarket or if this is a Ford original part. Nonetheless, you can see that this one only comes apart in 2 parts as opposed to the 3-part aluminum one. That part on the top and this bottom part here. Again, don't. If you see a plastic one, do not buy this. Do you understand? Do not buy the plastic housing, even from Ford. It's not worth it. Okay, either get the really, for some reason, expensive Dorman one, or the $30 like eBay, Amazon special. Anyway, right there, you can see where this failed. That hairline crack right there. Let's see if I can actually. Okay, you can actually see. Sorry. Right there, that hairline crack is where this stupid thing failed and sprayed coolant everywhere. So, anyway, as you can see, I had to go ahead and. Oh yeah, the crack. So that's the crack right there, and you can see it's split right there. Okay, so again, please don't buy these plastic ones. So this particular housing had these kind of screw-in sensors. It was basically held in with that big nut. The nut goes inside, and then the sensor screws into it. So I don't really actually know how you're supposed to. I'm not really quite sure how you're supposed to screw in the sensor if, you already have the housing installed, but that's besides the point. Anyway, in order to get this one out, I ended up unscrewing this sensor, which I believe on certain models has like a clip that you have to pull out, and then the sensor just comes out like that. But that was the only way that I was able to get this out, and that was after I had taken off that top part. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other tips for you. You need a lot of patience for this job, especially if it's your first time. Just be ready with an assortment of screwdrivers. Get your sweet little pocket screwdriver that your automotive instructor gave you for free at your junior college. And yeah, good luck, man, because you're gonna. No, you don't need luck. You just need patience. All right, you just need patience. And if you have any questions, y'all can just leave a comment. My phone's on pretty much all the time, so if you leave a comment, I'll probably respond to it in like max like 5 minutes, because I have no life. My girlfriend can confirm that. Anyway, yeah, just go ahead and let me know if you got any questions, and